Hello everybody. Today I'm here with Sietske head of the Initiate startup program that takes place within the European Utility Week in November, and Lorena Skiljan from the Blue Minds company, partner of the Blue Minds company in Vienna, also a part of the advisory board of the European Utility Week. And today we want to talk about the Initiate startup program. And first of all, Sietske, just please tell us something about your program.
Yes, and the Initiate program was originated a couple of years ago. We felt the need within European Utility Week to make sure that there's a safe haven for the startups to be. At that time, we mainly had big corporates, everybody basically with a marketing budget and a budget to travel. So that's why we started the startup program, to make sure that we could show the innovations as well to our traditional audience. So we have a startup pavilion where we have 50 spots available for startups, for them to find distribution partners and to get exposure in the smart energy sector. And this year we have teamed up with the Blue Minds company to give the startups a bit more a tangible program and not just a 3-day event. But I think Lorena can explain a bit more about what We Accelerate does.
Yeah, so actually that was my next question. How does the Blue Minds company come in here?
So actually I remember as we were sitting in November last year in Amsterdam and putting the program for the Utility Week in November as advisory board and thinking about, okay, how can we do the program even better and to offer our corporates even more of the program and more, as Sietske already says, a tangible program. And then we came up actually with the idea, why don't we start a small accelerator program where we put startups and match them with corporates together, just to go actually with an output out of the European Utility Week after the 3 days, and that we can then in further also look at these pilots and proof of concept that the corporates are implementing within their organizations and follow that further on and to see how to make this even stronger for the future years for the European Utility Week. So this is actually how we then make up with this program and say, okay, this is something that the corporates need, this is something that is great as a part of Initiate within the Utility Week. And the last few months we were just doing the program and designing the whole thing, and now we are almost ready, and the announcing and the applications for the startups and for the corporates are already out. So yeah.
Exactly. This application phase will last until the end of June. So what should startups that apply bring in? What are the criteria?
So the criteria are pretty simple, actually. They need to have an MVP, so a minimal viable product. They have to have a team of 2 to 3 people at minimum. So they have to proven already basically that they have gained initial traction, because from experience that is really what the utility sector is after. The other one is the startup needs to be founded 5 years ago, when it's software companies. If it's a hardware company, then they can be 8 years old max.
Okay, so why is there this difference between software and hardware companies?
Yeah, it's pretty simple. I think the startups that will be watching this will appreciate it. It's easier to deploy a software service. There's less research, less R&D, less money needed in order to actually have your MVP, and that's why we've extended the criteria for the hardware startups. For example, if you look at storage, which is obviously one of the hot topics in the industry and a very much needed solution, then a lot of R&D goes into that. So that's why we've extended the criteria for them.
Yeah, Sietske just mentioned storage as one of the big topics. From your point of view as an energy expert here, what are the big topics in the energy sector in the next years?
Yes. Well, for sure, as Sietske already pointed out, it's a storage topic. So I would even put it in a little bit of bigger context. It's a distributed energy systems. We go in this direction. And the other hand, of course, the e-mobility and the electric vehicles. And of course, then for the utilities from the side of charging stations, managing the whole system and all of this. So what we are also trying to put forward with this program actually is, since the utilities are doing a lot of R&D on their own, and also technology companies like Siemens and Schneider Electric and ABB or GE, they do a lot of R&D in-house, and we want to give them another impulse or just another push by this program, by introducing them with a startup ecosystem where there are maybe some ideas or some proof of concepts or some hardware or software parts which can make the utilities and the service company even much quicker to the market with their especially hardware products. And as Sietske pointed out, the transactive energy is the way we go, and there's also a lot of hardware necessary, and then also the managing system on top, and how to distribute all of this. So it's a lot to do. It's enough place, I think, for a lot of different kind of startups and companies, and we just want to bring them together and so that they can go for their goals even quicker.
Yeah, Lorena just mentioned some of the big companies that are taking part at the Utility Week. What other companies can startups expect to see there, to meet there?
Yeah, so basically European Utility Week covers the whole value chain, so everything from generation through to transmission, distribution, to the end consumer. So you can expect everyone there, whether it's a DSO, a TSO, an aggregator, the energy service companies are there, and as well, especially with Initiate, they can expect that the innovation managers will be there, procurement managers, as well VCs, whether it's a utility VC or a private VC. So they basically can expect to meet everyone. Even if they want, they can meet as well the next generation of talent, not the next generation of technology. So if they're looking to recruit, this would be the right place to be as well.
Yeah. We're here at the Accelerate, and you have one of your offices here. Actually, the headquarters of Blue Minds Company is a few kilometers further. Since you have your office in the Accelerate, will you use this network for the entire program?
Of course, this is exactly what we want to do. We want to do actually a great connection between Initiate Utility Week, the corporate, and of course the ecosystem of Accelerate. So it's just wonderful to have this ecosystem here to make use out of the ecosystem. So we really want to give the chance not only to the startups of Accelerate to be part of this program and a part of Initiate and the Utility Week, but we also want to give our corporates of Accelerate also the possibility to go to Utility Week and to see what we are doing there, and to involve also on a completely different way than from this startup challenge side, and not from the other side like a corporate or utility side. So I think this is very interesting for We Accelerate. So I would say we profit from each other in many ways. So it's just a great opportunity, and we just took it for us, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe some final remarks. So we talked about the Initiate program. We were talking about the European Utility Week already a lot, but still, can you line out a bit more generally, what is the European Utility Week about? What does it give startups and corporates besides the Initiate program we just talked about?
Yeah, sure. So the program, well, as Lorena already mentioned, it attracts around 12,000 smart energy professionals from mainly from Europe, but as well delegations from outside of Europe. There are around 600 exhibitors. So again, like the big corporates are there, as well the smaller suppliers are there. It's quite a content-heavy exhibition and conference. So there is a summit, which is more on a strategic level. So the startups that get accepted to the program, they get quite a high discount on attending that. And then on the exhibition floor, we have the hub sessions. So it's basically the same content as that we have in the summit, but more on a project level. So the pilots that have taken place, etc. And what I always recommend any startup, even if they don't get accepted to the program, is to still visit, because it's free of charge. They can attend all the sessions and meet their target audience in the relevant sessions that take place.
So that can already be counted as a message to the startups. As we said before, the application phase ends in the end of June. Do you have a message to the potential applicants?
Yeah, so if you want to meet who is who of the energy industry, then you need to be part of the Initiate program, and especially Accelerate to Initiate. So we look very forward to match you with the utilities, to match you with the corporates, and ask you just to register and be part of our program.
Some more message from you?
Well, I think Lorena hit the nail on the head. I think we got it right here. Indeed, as I said, like have a look at our website, read through what you need to submit. If there's any questions, get in touch. But most of all, just apply before June 30.
Okay, so then thank you very much for the interview. Goodbye.